guys, hope you're having a great day today. Today is Wednesday. Happy Wednesday morning to you. I hope that your morning is going well. My morning is going great. I'm up, I slept, I feel good. I'm making food for my family. I love cooking, I love making food, and I'm thankful to be able to do it. So today I'm going to be making food because we have family in this week, and we had a good time yesterday. I didn't film anything for you guys, but we had a great time. We went to a trampoline fun zone center. It's called Sky Zone. It's in South Carolina here. Kids had so much fun. They were jumping and doing the Ninja Warrior course and just having a good time. It was just great seeing everybody, big smiles, friendly competition between the siblings. They had like the jousting thing where you get up on the things that you barely, like the pillars you can barely stand on, and then you got the joust where they fight. So it was fun. It was fun seeing their little bit of like, I'm gonna get you, I'm gonna get you. It was just a fun time. We had a great time, and then we came back, changed, and we went up to dinner last night. We went to Cracker Barrel last night. So Cracker Barrel, our new restaurant. It was really good. We had a good time. It was a very enjoyable time. Had great food, and then came home, hung out some more, visited, and then went to bed. I think I was in bed by 11 last night. So when I got up today, I'm like, I need to get up and make some food today. So we are going to be enjoying more family today, celebrating having meals. And so I'm like, let me cook some food. I can make some food. It's going to be an Italian themed dinner tonight. So what I am going to do is make pesto chicken tortellini. It's like pesto Alfredo chicken tortellini, basically. Really good. It's Madeline's favorite meal, and so I'm going to make a pan of that, and then I'm going to do some mostaccioli because I want to have some dairy-free version. I've got those big giant sub buns right here. I originally intended to make poor boy subs out of those, but ended up getting the sub thing. So I'm going to take those, cut them in half, and whip up some butter and garlic mixture, spread it on there. Like when you go to the store and buy it, I'm like, we can do that, and then we can bake that in the oven tonight. So it'll be nice and crispy bread. So I'm gonna do that, some vegetables, and then I gotta throw in some dessert. So I'm like looking at everything. I'm like, we have so much like cookies and treats from Christmas, but I'm like, well, let me do something a little bit different. I found a couple of chocolate things that I'd like to make. So it's gonna be a good morning here. So I'm gonna make this food. I'm not going to bake it, heat it up. I'm just gonna take it because we're gonna leave after I'm done filming. I'm done, I'm editing, and we're gonna head out the door and go enjoy another fun, full afternoon and evening celebrating with family. It's gonna be a good time, and I'll take my food and we'll have full bellies and have a great time. So I have got over here a pot of water boiling and hamburger cooking. I'm gonna mix up my chicken pesto tortellini. I think it's pesto chicken tortellini bake, I think is the name of it. It's very simple, delicious, and it's freezable. It's really good for the freezer. Have it forever. We don't make it all the time because we don't have a lot of people that eat a lot of dairy in our home, and so I have two that don't, so that kind of makes the equation like, oh, there's a lot of it. So I was like, let me make this tonight. It'll be a great dish because it's delicious. So I looked at my freezer. I was thinking I'm gonna have to cook some chicken because I knew I had drumsticks and breast, and I thought, I'll get up and put it in the pressure cooker. I looked and I had a container bag still full of the fajita meat. Remember it's like chicken pieces. It's basically fajita meat. You can use rotisserie chicken, whatever you want to have. So I'm just going to put this in a bowl here, and we're going to add all ingredients. It's going to be great. You guys ready for a great cooking day? I'm ready to cook. I'm excited to cook. I've got an earbud in. Let me get all my ingredients for the pesto chicken tortellini. We're going to mix it together. It's going to be great. All right, let's go. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to mix in my mixing bowl here my ingredients. So I've got this artisan, that's what it is. 4 cheese. Remember I bought this one and I'm like, do my kids like this? Can we open it? They like Alfredo. Would this be good though? Okay, that tastes good. I wasn't sure. I'm like, it tastes good. I'm gonna put these in here. Let's all mix this up. You want nice and gooey. Don't skimp on any of your Alfredo or ingredients. The original recipe that I saw a long time ago, it was only 1 bag of tortellini. I always do 2. You know, you gotta have it be fuller. So this is gonna be good. So I'm gonna put everything in the bowl here for the recipe on screen. It's delicious. This makes a ton. I can see why you only put one package. I do too. I like to have it a lot bigger because, you know, we're feeding a lot of people here. So pour it into your 9x13 pan. I'm thinking this is gonna overflow. I'm gonna have to put it in 2. But I can also freeze this. So if you want this to make 2 9x13s for sure, I'm gonna see how much I can smush in a pan because, you know, always about putting more in. This is a very, very large portion, which is really good. We're serving a lot of people, so I don't mind having this big amount. If you want less and you don't want a ton leftovers, just do 1 package of pesto tortellini. We're serving a lot of people, so I don't mind having this big amount. I'm gonna cover this with foil because I'm gonna take it so we can bake it later. But pesto tortellini, delicious. One meal done, that'll go in the, it can go in the freezer. I'm gonna cook it later in the oven. It's gonna be 375 for about 30 minutes. Next I'm gonna make is mastacholi. Does everybody do this different? I don't know. What's the difference between spaghetti, mastacholi, and goulash? For me, probably nothing. For you, maybe a complete difference. My spaghetti, I make it more just with the sauce. I do like adding more of the diced tomatoes, make it a little bit more thinner, but we do more of the sauce. My mastacholi is just a different noodle. And then my goulash, I guess growing up it was more diced tomatoes versus tomato sauce, but I make it about equally the same. So I guess it depends on where you're from and how you make it. So I've got this pasta, this isn't mastacholi, but it's very similar. So I'm gonna use, it's about, a package is about this much. So I'm gonna do about this much in here, over here in my boiling water. The lid on that so that it comes to a boil. It's good. Got our water boiling right here, and here is our meat pretty much all cooked up. So this is how you can do an easy version. If you have no spices, just leave it. But I do have spices, so I'm gonna use them. If you have a real onion, chop up a real onion. If you don't want to chop up an onion, use minced onions. It's okay. It'll be quite all right. I'm gonna add that. I'm gonna add some Italian seasoning. If you don't have Italian seasoning, like think basil, oregano, those kind of spices go well in there. And then I'm going to do a little bit of garlic in here as well. And then for my mixture, I'm going to add some petite diced tomatoes because I don't like the big chunks of tomatoes. My kids don't like the big chunks of tomatoes. They're always like, oh, tomatoes. So don't go too much. Normal size, just do one batch. Again, I'm making it a little bit larger because we have some people we're feeding. So I'm going to do this. Actually, I'm just going to do one. I'm just looking at it. I'm like, okay, that looks good. And then I'm going to add our spaghetti sauce. This is going to be a big bowl here. You can do just 1 package of mastacholi. I did 2 because I'm feeding more people. This is a giant can of spaghetti sauce. Obviously, you do not need to have a giant can of spaghetti sauce. For every 1 package of pasta, you could do a jar of sauce, but I would recommend doing 2 jars because it helps, the noodles are gonna absorb it a little bit. So it's just better to have that extra in there. So I should get a big bowl, but I'll just do it all in here. So I'm gonna pour out what would be equivalent to a couple jars of pasta here. And this is just spaghetti sauce. I got it inexpensive. I think it was $2.99 for this jar. I don't know what the price is today, but Sam's Club's tomato sauce is about the same price, and you just have to add more seasonings to it. That's all. It's the same thing. Spaghetti sauce just has more seasoning. It's still tomatoes. It just has sugar, salt, onion powder, spices, garlic powder. It's the same thing. Tomato sauce would be the same tomato, just with the spices in it. So do whatever you can get and whatever you can afford. This is a meal you can stretch. You can also just add more pasta to stretch it. You can do less meat if you don't have a lot of hamburger. Because of the cost, you can do way less in here. We're just making this more of a heartier meal because, again, feeding lots of people, and I don't mind doing that for my family. So this, I'm just going to carefully stir here with the spurtle. You want this nice and, since we're going to be baking it later, you want to make sure that it's like liquidy enough. When I probably put it in the pan, I'll look at it, I'll probably add a little bit more. This would be like what I would serve it at, but since it's not going to be there and it's going to sit for a little bit, it'll absorb, so you just add a little bit more, that's all. When I was first learning to kind of cook and guess all that, I always kept out or had an extra jar in my cupboard, so that, or even just extra diced tomatoes, because then I was like, oh, it got really dry, because there's nothing worse than dry spaghetti or dry pasta, and then you're like, I have no more sauce. So keep an extra one in your cupboard. Even just diced tomatoes, like if I didn't have anything else, I could add a can of diced tomatoes to this. It would make it juicy again. Or tomato paste, just squeeze some, mix it with some water. Either way, squeeze it if you have the squeezy can like I have. So this is good. Stir this up, and then we're gonna put this in a 9x13 pan and cover it with foil and call it good. So this is nice and meaty, delicious mustacholi. My favorite is when you put the foil too short, so that's okay. Now each of mine, I'm putting a piece of wax paper because I don't like the way that foil, sometimes when you bake it, it leaves like aluminum stuff on your food. I just don't want that. So this is perfect. It's nice and gooey. I added extra because we're serving this for a party and I'm gonna be leaving the house, so I won't have access to any more diced tomatoes or tomato sauce if I need it. So this will be perfect. It's cooked, so basically put it in the oven, heat it up just for a few minutes. Like the pesto tortellini will have to be cooked a little bit longer, obviously, just to more heat it, make sure the tortellini gets cooked, and then this will be a little bit less. Perfect. Let me clean my mess. Let me put my tomato spaghetti sauce into a container, freeze that for another day so we can have sauce for something else. I'm gonna make a vegetable side dish. I was gonna do a salad, but I thought I'll have to go to the store and get stuff, which I don't mind, but I'm, again, gathering fragments and using up what I have. So we have some California blend. So I'm gonna put this in a baking dish. I'm gonna add about half of this broccoli, I think, because I feel like the broccoli gets eaten first and the rest of the vegetables are left over. I'm gonna put that in a 9x13 pan. I'm gonna sprinkle some salt, this stuff stays on complete on top of it, a little bit of onion powder, mix it up. This will go in the oven to heat up when we have dinner as well. So simple, just a good way to use veggies. You can broil them and roast them in the oven if you want. It doesn't matter. This is fine. Covered with foil and steamed in the oven would be delicious as well. So I'm gonna make some garlic bread spread now, because I'm gonna use these 2 loaves. These are good. These have been in the freezer. What is the date? December 8th. So obviously I would have had to eat these up. It's already the 28th. Freeze it, it's fine. So if you, I mean, it's not gonna taste like fresh bread, obviously, because it's been in the freezer, but you can like heat it up. It'll be crispy on the outside and delicious. So this is the same stuff they make at the store, and it's way cheaper to do it yourself. Just get some of these. These are now $1.50, I think. $1.50, which they used to be $1. You can sometimes get them for $1 on like the little clearance rack there in Walmart, and they're fine. Just throw them in your freezer. They work really, really good for easy things. I'm gonna slice these in half, and I'm gonna put my buttery mixture on it. So what I'm gonna do is in my bowl here, I'm gonna mix up. For one of them, I would do 1 stick of butter. I'm over here, and then I have a little bit left over here I'm gathering up. I'm gonna put that in there with some olive oil. I'm gonna use, you can use dried garlic, like garlic powder, and then I'm gonna add real garlic because I have it. I'm gonna add some Italian seasoning and just whip that up. It's gonna make a nice spread. You can freeze it, do whatever you want. I'll spread it on there nice and thick. I'll do nice and thick because I want it to be nice and gooey. And then we will have that for dinner. We'll wrap it in foil, bake in the oven. It'll be delicious. Just a little tip when you are making something where you have to ration out, or make sure you divide it up among your meals evenly. Just take out and like proportion it out. So I just put a blob of each one on each half just to make sure that I do have enough, because you don't want to get to your last one and go, oh, I totally need more of it. So this is perfect. Just spread it on. You can make it thicker. We make it similar with the poor boy stuff with that cream cheese in it. That's delicious, but this is going to be great, just like what they have at Walmart. You can pay for double the price of the bread, but this is cheaper making it yourself. I'm gonna make a dessert. I don't have to do dessert because there's a lot of food, but we have this chocolate flourless tort, and we made this before and it was very good. It's small, but it's very rich. When we had gone to the Billy Graham Center for a Colton Dixon concert there, and I remember they had this and it was so good. And I'm like, this is a really rich dessert. So we're gonna make it. Maddie and I made it a little while ago. I'm gonna make it today. Most of it goes into the microwave. You mix it, you put the butter in the microwave, basically mix everything and then put it in the oven. So I'm gonna put my butter in here in the microwave. We're gonna melt it, place butter and melt. I'll put it just like this and melt it. I'm gonna let that cool for 30 minutes, put an ever on the side, refrigerate for 2 hours or until completely cool, flip it upside down, and then I have a dark chocolate ganache pouch that we will pour on top. So that's good. Perfect. This will be a delicious, something different for a treat today. So that has dairy in it. So I'd like to do a dessert that does not contain dairy for my dairy-free children. So I've got these. I looked in my pantry. Remember these dessert cups I got at the discount store? And I thought, oh, we'll do something fun with them. I don't know what we're gonna do with them, but I thought I bought chocolate pudding. So I'm gonna mix some of this up, and I'm thinking I was gonna spray Coop on top. I might mix the Coop inside of it. I might mix it more like a mousse. I'll put, because they can do Coop. So I'll mix this up with my lactose-free milk. They can do Coop. Mix that in there, and I'm gonna put it inside the chocolate cups, just for something different. They're cute. They're cute little chocolate cups. Taste like chocolate chips. So that'll be a fun dessert for those dairy-free or anybody, because it's delicious. I'm just gonna mix pudding up according to directions. Put it in a bowl here, whip in some whipped topping, and I'll just put it into the chocolate things. Those will be easy, something simple. These are fun, something different, not like a huge dessert, but something fun to take. So this is good. So I'm finished. I'm like, I have to wait for my chocolate stuff to come out, and maybe I'll show you that, do a little clip at the end here, what it actually looks like. Now I'm gonna go. I'm gonna close today's video, go so I can edit. I'm done. It's only 9 o'clock in the morning, but I have things I wanna get done here in the home, things I gotta just take care of, house stuff, cleaning, fun, you know, fun life that I have to do. And then we are gonna go spend the whole afternoon and evening with family. So good time together with everyone makes this mama's heart smile. So you have a fantastic rest of your day. Remember, you are designed, you are created, and you are selected by God to do great, wonderful things. And I'm gonna see you tomorrow. I don't know, what's tomorrow? It's Thursday. I don't know what we're gonna do tomorrow. Hopefully I'll make some more food. I'll just see. I might probably have leftovers. We're gonna see. So just come back tomorrow. We'll see what we got. All right, see you tomorrow. Bye.